Okay, Duane, it is said that in vulgar parlance, common language, said it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So the Numan's activity here and that of the wonderful worldwide educators can be compared to lighting candles to chase away the darkness. Now, do you think that the candles you're lighting are too few or are too many? And if so many, can it lead to some sudden big fire, a conflagration, which might be difficult to handle? Duane?
That's a fun question, Charles. First of all, I don't like candles, okay, but that's a cute cliche because, again, especially with all the flammable stuff that I'm in, documents and carpeting and etc. These houses are just very flammable, so no candles here. Again, that's a cliche, and when you really look at what I'm presenting, I know it seems a little hard for people. I've had people say, I like what you're writing, but can you write it in a different way? In other words, possibly more kindness or whatever, because it's like too direct. Well, if you're standing, on the ground and a plane is coming, crashing, is speeding down to earth on fire, and you're in its way, are you going to yell at the people around you and say, "Hey, watch out"? Or are you going to, in some way, say it really nice to where it takes a while to where all of a sudden the plane crashed and everybody's gone? Okay, so this is really where we are at right now on this planet in the life that we have. It is a do or die situation, and most people are just giggling and laughing and saying, "Well, can't you say that a lot nicer?" Yes, I'm nice. I'm nice all the time, but at the same time, the candle idea, I'm getting around to this, is a cliche. And these are many cliches. I don't really do the cliches simply because this is where, again, people want like a soft pillow every night to sleep on. When I did my construction business, and I still do it, go lay outside, I lay on the concrete and I look straight up at the sky. I'm fine with that. But I don't sleep on concrete at night. I have a mattress and a pillow, of course. But it's not that everything is going to be the soft touch. What does it take to wake us up? If it's all the soft touch, then we're just agreeable to our personal situation. So the lighting of the candle, yes, I get the idea, and that is that to bring light, etc., into this world, and yes, that is the idea. But the real light, I have to define this simply because the light and spirit idea that people have come to know is really from the reptilians off the astral world, and I define this more so to help people out in, again, the latest group. Gods and saviors and all is. And so we've grown up with these cliches, and see, again, people have become emotionally attached to these ideas. And yes, they can be fun to exchange and giggle about, whatever, but to live for them? No, you limit yourself to an idea. That's it. It is not a recognition. It's just an idea that floats around your head. This is where, like Harry on stage, saying all these interesting things all equal nothing because they're ideas. They're cliches, and they have nothing to do with recognizing the isness life is. That is the endless, awesome adventure that's available to everybody. And then each individual decides with what they recognize. They decide to step up and stand real and contribute just like the real guides do. But for the most part, again, most people are more interested in their personal life. So guess what? You made the choice. That's it. That's all you got. And that's all you'll ever see. And you will not see what is possible because the unseen is bigger. So we start off with those things when we're young. It's like saying prayers before we go to bed, whatever. I went through those routines too. And so eventually we go through these things and we decide along the way to take the risk and see more or not. And so this is very specified now. See, when we were young, these things weren't specified. So we really grew up with cliches, didn't we? Just like the one you said and others, like the one that was hung on many people's walls. Home sweet home. You see, that's a cute cliche, isn't it? It's like, oh, this is my home. I live in this box. And wow, it's great, you see? And for men, it's, I am the king of my castle, okay? So in other words, I'm the king of the box, all right? Really, that's really what it is, but you can call it a castle, but it's really a box. It's studs and drywalls. I used to frame those. I was a carpenter. I was a contractor for 40 years or so, and this was fine. It was fine for that time. Now it's not. So, and just like the cliches that I've come up through, those are fine for those times. But it's, you know what, it's a lot more fun to be real. And so that would be like two birds talking in the nest saying, oh, the heavens are beautiful, and to fly through the heavens would be, just wonderful. But they just sit there in the nest and they don't do it, And so the bird that makes sense won't even sit there and listen to that. He'll just go fly, you see? He'll just do it. While the other birds are looking at him going, huh? Why did he do that? Why isn't he nicer? He just took off. He's not listening to us. See, again, all these ideas that we play with here, and that's no big deal. Again, it's choice. We want our la la lands. We want our thrills. That's fine. But because the world is doing what it's doing right now, rapidly destroying itself, not only through the agreement, but what people are deciding, you don't have time to consider these things anymore. You better pay attention, because every moment you're being whacked with Wi-Fi, you're being poisoned, polluted, everything you eat, etc. Are you paying attention? And what is it? Why are you here? The idea here for you to earn your way is also to recognize how to support those that support you realistically according to the ISSS life is. So again, you got a lot to deal with. So in the meantime, do we have time for all these little cute things? You decide, Charles. Thank you. Go ahead.
Now, in the new knownness of the ISSS, humanity has come a long way with the real guides, proclaiming that the real guidance, real education, and real freedom is the only way out of the morass. Is this some kind of Armageddon, the final battle, which is the summit of the battle against the dualistic forces that have kept man enslaved for eons? So, in other words, with the advent of the ISSS, it seems like the culmination of the efforts to free man, to bring man real freedom, and this has been a gradual process which is pitted against a backdrop of the machinations of the gods and their human cohorts and all that. So, with the advent of the Numan and the ISSS, is this some kind of final battle that will change things forever? Yeah.
It could seem so, wouldn't it? It's except for the endlessness life is. So let's look at the overall here, and that is that you talked about creation and the forces, etc. So creation is a particular, okay? It's a something, okay, that is needed, that is provided, just like when we were young, we needed diapers for a while, okay? We really did. Or we ran around naked and we just did whatever we want, like the animals. I mean, some indigenous people live like that, and that's fine, whatever the thing is, but we're in the social structure. So the real battle is to get through ourselves. That's where the battle area is. It is in creation, but it's not the marketing ploy again of the controllers. The controllers have made, have gotten people to agree to the idea that, oh, we need armies to protect ourselves from those people over there, okay, that are going to attack us. All right. So this is started off one way and another, and it's become what it is. So yeah, there's the battle, but that's an outside battle. If we're going to use the word battle, and that's fine too, it's really confrontation. The real battle is with ourselves to decide if we want to sidestep what we've created for ourselves as restrictions and hindrances. There's the battle. The outside battle is easy. Anybody grab a rifle. That's why people go through boot camp and all that hell to go out there. Hey, they didn't want to go through the boot camp, they'll do it, but the thing is, just give me a rifle, let me just go shoot somebody. That's easy to do. But to face yourself, there's the real battle. And to recognize, all the restrictions that you've agreed to, and then eventually learn to recognize the is. Whoa, that's a big challenge. And no, there is no finale, because creation will go on. Creation has always been. There's no beginning or ending to creation. Okay, you might say it transposes, it transforms from this to that to whatever. Just like you see the clouds in the sky. Some days it's clear, sometimes there's clouds, and they transpose and they turn into different shapes and whatever. I mean, this is how it is in creation. You have cause and effect. And so even with all that's going on, it's all okay, because it's all about recognition. And so whatever it takes to wake you up. So here we are in beyond dastardly situations with the world. Everything's poisoned, polluted, and it's a plan. It's not even coincidence or, gee, sorry, we made the mistake. Oh, we spilled this. No, it's so precisely planned to be this and more. Okay? So again, the elites that have created this, the original reptilians, they create this situation. They have fun creating too, and all these things and whatever. But at a certain point, just like a gang of guys sitting around the fireplace and drinking, then all of a sudden they decide, you know what? Let's just blow up the place, okay? Because we're bored. And so this is what they do to planet after planet after planet. And, also that, all of a sudden there's a lot of people here that have created their social structure, the buildings. You look across the United States, you look across the world, look at everything that's been created. They didn't do it. They got everyone else to do it with the monetary system. And then what they do, like the bailout with Obama, they go in and they steal it, is what they do. It's all rigged. But at a certain point, they get bored. They really get bored. So now they start to destroy things, don't they? Just like the guys, just like the people, the men, women, whatever, that go to the beach late at night. I see them as I ride my bikes out there. I see the cars parked along PCH. And you know what they do? They go out there, some of them, they drink, they do drugs. And then all of a sudden you hear bottles crashing. They throw the bottles on the walls out there on the pavement, and people step on them, little kids, whatever. This is what they do because they're bored. These are bored people. Because they're here and they're also frustrated at the same time. The real battle is recognizing the is. When you really get in tune to do that, to really step up, to realize that, yes, it becomes a much bigger picture, much better. But in the meantime, yeah, this will continue on. And again, I've said it, we're here for everyone. We really are. But it's not me deciding anything. It's a presentation, like the sun shining. This is exactly what it is. The sun demonstrates so many things that you can recognize that have such value. And the real value of life is invisible. So you can be this reality once you decide to be, but as long as you decide to be just the personal self. So you can stand in a pure body. You don't need the 5 bodies, okay? But in the meantime, until you can't, you do need them for support as something to relate to. But again, you decide the adventure. So, this thing, this outer thing is control. You see it now. You understand it. The rules, the laws, the Constitution, all that. Oh, those all sound good. Words stuck together in a particular way. Okay. Kind of like the game of Scrabble. All right. You make up the words or you don't. I always used to make up words, and I'd kind of cleverly convince other, oh, no, that's a real word. It's just not in the dictionary yet. I'd have fun with that. So anyhow, it's all funny stuff. But yeah, so people have been convinced that just like you see it in the movies and the Bhagavad Gita or whatever, and all these writings about this battle, and even in the Bible, the angels and the devils and the demons and battling. No, that's to confuse people. That's to get their outer one-dimensional attention to a particular, so they never really look at themselves, you see. So everybody just carries all these invented ideas that are really cliches that they live by, and at the same time agreeing to the system that they're subconsciously being controlled by. So for the first time, realistically, instead of just, even Paul, he brought things out, but it was the first step. It was very elementary. He couldn't get to this point because basically nobody had listened. So he gave people the chance. He started off with the God and spiritual idea, but upgraded it with the isness that was unseen and the real guidance on the real side, you see, more so than the basic religions. But now we're into a point that we're facing oblivion here, and all those people that came here to learn to recognize this isness, they ain't going to have much of a chance. They're going to be stuck in the astral world like the Fukushima people, and they're going to be all screwed up for lifetimes and having to come back to this even worse situation on this planet. Very, very real, because they ain't got nowhere else to go. They can't see it, or unless they're motivated. A few may, but most won't. So my adventure, this is where it becomes like a romantic adventure, is because it's a love affair myself, a real love affair with the isness. Life is, I see it. And so I'm willing to take this on to see, because when I see a person step up, I look at their being, I look at their intent, and I want to see if they'll recognize realistically what we're doing. Yeah. That's where that pure sincerity comes in. It is so awesome. And when people do, and I see it in them, and they're trying to see this, it's terrific, because that is the real us. And that encompasses everything more so. And then, you know what? The difficulties in creation become very minuscule. And eventually they just fade away like the fog in the sun. So, yes, we have this huge challenge in this battle. Again, it's not really a battle. It's really deciding to simply recognize what makes sense. But these extremes have been created, just like in the movies today. You have the superheroes, you got all the superhero stuff, and they're always battling evil. Well, this is where they want your attention. Now, I like these movies too. Some of them get a little bit too weird, but if they make sense and they've got a good storyline, because I see objectively what's taking place, because people are involved in this and they are, obsessed with these things, just like the video game kids all over the world and the competitions they have, they're obsessed with these things. And really what this stuff does is promotes them into a demise. They don't realize it. They just think it's a fun video game. No, it's really more than that. There's a hidden agenda to everything here, not just some things. Everything. They cover all the bases, and they take a look at what the masses are after or agree to, like the Bitcoin thing and all that. Again, it's all created by the same individuals that control everything, but they try and make it look different or this or that, and people buy that, and they see what people agree to, and then they set up the next situation according to that agreement. Is what they do. It's a psychological mishap here. People keep agreeing instead of learning to recognize the isness and being objective about what's going on. And then at the same time, stepping up, having the courage to provide a benefit from all this distortion. See, I like that. I like the confrontation, because that's where you become more aware. That's how you earn your way. That's how you prove yourself, not pretending that, oh, that's bad, and I'm not going to deal with that, and I'm going to hide from that, and I'm just going to be the good person over here. No, that's not it. That's far from it. It's a cute idea. It's another cliche. But no, this is facing everything. But it's not a battle. See, that's the best part. It is not a battle. But they want you to think, you see, Charles, that it's a battle. But it's really not. But thank you for bringing that up. There you go.